Hi everyone, Happy New Year. Just wanted to drop in and talk about something that's been heavy on my heart lately. I've been nervous to talk about it, honestly, but I'm having the courage, right? I did a little post on that today, so I'm having the courage to talk about it. The topic of today is really being the own expert on your body. This is something when I work with people, we talk about. It's really important. You are the own expert on your body. You know what's best. And my mammogram experience is related on this topic because I got a mammogram earlier this year, and I'm bringing this up, I just want to say, because I have some girlfriends, I've talked about this with other women over the years, but very few, and I feel like this isn't talked about enough. So this was important to me to share my experience to help other women. So, and to know that you are your own advocate. This is really important, and I'll give some tips at the end. I'll tell you the story, and then I'll give you some tips at the end about being your own advocate when it comes to seeing a doctor. So I got a mammogram last year, I should say, in January. They did find a lump and they want to do a biopsy. And because I do a lot of holistic healing, I eat really clean, no sugar, no gluten. I felt like I could could listen to my body and feel like, this doesn't feel right. I don't want to just jump into a biopsy. I saw my mom experience stage 4 cancer and her get a biopsy and go through all that and have different challenges over the years. So I decided for me, I was going to wait. So it's not about saying so much no, which is okay to say, but just saying, can I think on it? I'm not sure if this is right for me, not being afraid to say that. So I waited and did an ultrasound every few months just to check on it, make sure it was okay, nothing grew. By the end of the year, again, I don't eat processed foods, I don't eat gluten, I don't eat sugar. So I know I don't give my body the environment for something like that to grow. But I still wanted to be responsible and keep up with it and not just let it go. So I just wanted a balance of both, where I didn't feel like I had to quick rush and do something right away and be nervous, or that I was just gonna let it go. So by the end of the year, I got another scan done, an ultrasound done, and mammogram done, and they said it looks fine. We can see directly through it. It's nothing to be worried about. You're okay. So my point of the story was I wasn't afraid to say, no, this doesn't feel right. Can I just wait and ask questions? And this is just so big because I feel like a lot of times we go in with very trusting. And it's not about being against the doctor, it's about working with your doctor and speaking up and asking questions. So one thing to remember, nobody knows your body like you. So this works the other way around, right? If you go into a doctor and you say something's wrong and they say, hey, you're fine, I'm positive, but you feel something is wrong, speak up, get a second opinion. I've seen family members go through this. I've seen family members get misdiagnosed. So that's the second thing, is misdiagnosis happens. People are human. Things happen, records get sent to the wrong doctor, people don't pick up on stuff, it gets missed, a phone call gets missed. So things happen where it gets misdiagnosed and it's just not picked up. And like I said, you have the right to say no, and it's not about being against the doctor, it's about just speaking up and saying, I'm not sure I feel comfortable, can I wait on that? Not right now. So it's really, really important to be able to work with your doctor on what you need and speak up and use your voice. So to prepare for a doctor's appointment, my suggestions are writing down questions before. If you can, bring somebody with you, that's really helpful. It's always nice to have someone else with you, because if you hear news that maybe is a little upsetting, it may be difficult to process that. To take some time to have some space, maybe after appointment, to figure out what you want. And using questions like, I don't feel comfortable with that. I feel comfortable with this. Maybe saying, can you explain that further? Can you tell me what the side effects of that would be? So getting a little bit deeper into the conversation. And then maybe if you don't feel well and they're saying you're fine, saying, I don't feel well, this is what I feel. And really trying to explain it the best you can. If you can make notes, like I said before, it's great. If you could bring someone with you, that's great. And always follow up and email your doctor, and that's big now, portals, and follow up with follow-up questions. So again, I'm sharing this story not to say what you should or shouldn't do when it comes to getting your mammograms or anything like that. Just be mindful of what's coming up in the appointment. I think sometimes we could be quick to just follow along, but for me it was about, okay, what do I feel is right? I'm going to be responsible while still being able to say what I need, and that is so important. So the point of this whole video is say what you need. Don't be afraid to share things like this with your friends. For me, this was really, really big. I talked to other friends about it, and I realized how many women don't share about this because it is so personal, right? But I felt a need to share it. I feel like it's really important, not only to say, you know, that getting something like this done as a woman every year and these things coming up and maybe not hearing other women are going through biopsies and different things, but so I think there's a lot of power in sharing that, but then there's a lot of power in also knowing that when you go to a doctor's appointment, hi Michael, that when you go to a doctor's appointment, it's really important to be able to ask questions, to get those questions answered, to be able to think about what they recommend, to do your research on it, to ask about side effects, to say what you need and what you do and do feel comfortable with. And if they're not looking into something that you do feel is important, to find a second opinion. That's okay. So again, it's not being against your doctor, it's working with as a team to say what you need and not being afraid to speak up and do it differently, right? I don't know any other woman that said no to getting a biopsy. I don't know anybody and saying, hey, I'm just going to wait. I think they probably thought I was crazy, but I felt comfortable with it. I felt in my gut it was right, and I still monitored it and kept doing the ultrasounds to make sure I was okay. Nothing was growing. And then by the end of it, it was like, yeah, you are fine. It is nothing. So maybe not a huge deal, but for me, it was a huge deal to get a biopsy, and I didn't want to do anything that I didn't have to do. And I wanted to work together with my doctor. So it gave me the opportunity to be able to speak up and say what I needed, work with her, and then come to a solution. At the end of it, I was okay. And I know that can be different every time, but it's just my encouraging you this year. You know your body best, whether you're working with someone like me that's a health coach, your doctor, anybody, right? A personal fitness trainer, when it comes to your chiropractor, anyone, you know your body best. Say what you need, say what you're feeling, express yourself, and take time to think about it to see if it's right for you. So, okay, I hope that's helpful for you today. Hope you took away some tips. Please feel free to share any comments down below. I hope this was helpful for you. This is very vulnerable for me and hard to talk about, I will say. But this was so much on my heart of wanting to share my experience of being able to say, no, that doesn't work for me. Hi, Linda. So thank you guys for listening in on being your own advocate, knowing your body best, and hearing about my mammogram story and how to advocate for yourself when you go to the doctor. So again, feel free to comment down below. Hi, Linda. Ask any questions down below, any comments. If you have an experience you want to share, we'd love to hear it. So this is a community about helping each other and advocating for yourself. Okay, everyone, happy 2025 and have a great day.